Yes, for the benefit of our court reporter, please make sure that you're speaking clearly, loudly, slowly into the microphone that includes witnesses as they testify. This is an evidentiary hearing before the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. The cause docketed before the commission is cause number 46235, captioned as Complaint of Valbruna Slater Stainless, Inc. against Indiana Michigan Power Company concerning the provision of electric service. Notice of time and place of this hearing was given as provided by law by publication in Marion County's Indianapolis Star on November 7, 2025, and in Allen County's Journal-Gazette on November 7, 2025. These are newspapers of general circulation, and these publications were made at least 10 days prior to the date of this evidentiary hearing. The proofs of publication of these notices have been received by the Commission and are now incorporated into the record of this cause by reference and placed in the official files of the Commission. Notice has also been given to the Indiana Office of Utility Consumer Counselor and other interested parties. May we please have appearances for complainant petitioner.
On behalf of the complainant, Valbruna Slater Stainless, Inc., I am Caleb Patterson with the law firm of Beckman Lawson, LLP at 201 West Wayne Street in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. And for respondent?
On behalf of Indiana Michigan Power Company, Kay Pashis with the Taft Law Firm in Indianapolis.
Thank you, Ms. Pashis. And for the public?
Good morning, Your Honor. Appearing on behalf of the OUCC, Jason Haas, representing the public.
Thank you, Mr. Haas. And before we begin with complainant petitioner's case, we'd like the witnesses to stand. Individuals who are ready to testify shall be sworn in. You all know who themselves to be witnesses in this cause. Please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn. Do you affirm or swear the evidence you will give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, thank you. You can be seated. Mr. Patterson?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to start with an opening statement, if that is acceptable. I don't know if that's usually something that is done at these kinds of hearings.
Please, you're certainly welcome.
Okay. So as stated in Valbruna's amended complaint, Your Honor, Valbruna is requesting that the commission enter a judgment in its favor, finding that Indiana Michigan Power Company failed to supply Valbruna with voltage supply reasonably close to the contracted 34,500 volts and failed to uphold its statutory duty to furnish reasonably adequate services and facilities. We are requesting an order that I&M's prospective electric supply to Valbruna satisfy I&M's contractual and statutory duties to Valbruna, ordering that I&M provide prior notice to Valbruna of any future changes of electric services within their reasonable control, and that these future changes not modify I&M's continued duty to supply Valbruna with voltage supply reasonably close to the contracted 34,500 volts, and finally, to set up a more efficient communication method for I&M to resolve any future potential electric supply issues for Valbruna. The evidence presented today will show the IURC that the voltage supplied to Valbruna during the summer of 2023 was not up to I&M's contractual or statutory duty to Valbruna, and that Valbruna's prospective services it receives from I&M must be in line with its contractual and statutory duties, not like it was in the summer of 2023. And at this time, Your Honor, Valbruna is going to move to admit several exhibits here that were produced in response to our discovery request, and I'm going to move to admit Valbruna's Exhibit 1, which is an email thread dated May 16, 2024, produced by I&M in response to Valbruna's request for production numbers 1 and 6. I'm going to hand a copy out to the parties.
Please. We'll go off the record.
We do not object to this, however.
Hold on, we're not on the record.
Oh,
But now we are, Ms. Pashos. Do
Sorry.
you have any objections to Petitioner's Exhibit 1?
We do not have any objection. However, we noted just now that the caption in the first page of our response is the wrong caption. So, different case. But with that clarification, we have no objection.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Haas, for the public?
No objection, Your Honor.
Petitioner's Exhibit 1 is admitted into the record.
I've got Valbruna's Exhibit 2 here, which is I&M's responses to Valbruna's interrogatories numbers 12, 15, 16, 20, and 24. I will hand a copy out to the parties.
All right, thank you. Going off the record for just a moment. All right, we're going back on the record.
This is your Exhibit 2.
Yes.
I was just clarifying this is Exhibit 2.
Yes, this is Exhibit number 2, Ms. Pashos. Does I&M have any objection to Petitioner's proffered exhibit?
No objection, and with the same clarification that the caption at the beginning of our objections and responses is incorrect.
Thank you, Ms. Pashos. Mr. Haas?
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Petitioner's Exhibit 2 is admitted into the record. And Mr. Patterson, if you prefer, and it might be more efficient to do so, you can offer all of these exhibits at the same time. And
Thank you, Your Honor.
we're going to go off the record.
Hand them out. was 3 through 7 that I just passed out. Understood. I'll move to admit him. Okay.
We're going back on the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Valbruna moves to admit Valbruna's Exhibit 3, which is I&M's responses to Valbruna's request for production numbers 8, 11, and 15. Valbruna's Exhibit 4, which is an email thread dated June 5, 2023, produced by I&M in response to Valbruna's request for production numbers 1 and 6. Valbruna's Exhibit 5, which is an email thread dated June 6, 2023, produced by I&M in response to Valbruna's request for production numbers 1 and 6. Valbruna's Exhibit 6, which is an email thread dated June 29, 2023, produced by I&M in response to Valbruna's request for production numbers 1 and 6. And Valbruna's Exhibit 7, which is an email thread dated July 6, 2023, produced by I&M in response to Valbruna's request for production numbers 1 and 6.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Ms. Pashos, does I&M have any objection to these exhibits?
We have no objection with the same caption clarification.
Thank you. Mr. Haas for the public?
No objection, Your Honor.
Thank you. Petitioners, Exhibits 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are admitted into the record. You may proceed.
Okay, I can move forward with Mr. Hilger here. I have no other exhibits aside from his testimony.
All right,
So,
please.
understood.
Mr. Patterson, your witness.
Hello, Mr. Hilger. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you state your full name and business address for the record?
Patrick H. Hilger, 2400 Taylor Street, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Thank you. And by whom are you employed?
Valbruna, Slater, Stainless,
And what's your job title with Valbruna?
Engineering and Maintenance Manager.
So you have two documents before you. Do you have before you what is marked for identification purposes as Valbruna's Exhibit 8?
Yes.
Is Valbruna's Exhibit 8 a true and accurate copy of your direct testimony, including its attachment, which is the contract between Valbruna and I&M previously submitted in this matter?
Yes.
Do you have before you what is marked for identification purposes as Valbruna's Exhibit 9?
Yes.
Is Valbruna's Exhibit 9 a true and accurate copy of your rebuttal testimony previously submitted in this matter?
Yes, it is.
Do you have any changes to make to Valbruna's Exhibit 8 or Valbruna's Exhibit 9 today?
No.
Do you adopt Valbruna's Exhibit 8 and Valbruna's Exhibit 9 as your sworn testimony in this cause?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, Valbruna moves to admit Valbruna's Exhibits 8 and 9.
All right. Has that been provided to the parties?
Do you have a copy of
That's
that?
the pre-filed testimony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ms. Pashos, does I&M have any objection to petitioner's exhibits 8 and 9?
No objection.
Thank you. Mr. Haas?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Petitioner's exhibits 8 and exhibit 9 are admitted into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. The witness is tendered for cross-examination.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Ms. Pashos?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you're the engineering and maintenance manager for Valbruna, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And you've been in that position for 7 years?
About 5 years,
Okay. And you've worked for Valbruna longer than that, though?
or about 17 years.
And you're Purdue engineering grad?
Yes.
Can you, at a very high level, give me just a general idea of the size of Valbruna as an electricity customer?
Our monthly bills are about 200,000 every month.
Do you know what kind of the megawatt demand is on the system roughly?
I should, but I can't recall
That's
right
fine.
Sorry, can the witness please speak up?
Yes, I should, but I can't recall right now.
And again, at a very high level, can you just give a brief description of the type of equipment that Valbruna uses at this plant?
Valbruna has mill rolling equipment. That's where you take ingots and roll them into bar stock. We also have cold draw equipment where you draw bar stock through dies, and then mill or bar processing equipment where you peel and test and package bar stock for sale.
Thank you. And am I correct that the voltage fluctuation issues that you discussed in your testimony, you have not experienced any more of those since the summer of 2023, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now I'd like to have you explain a little bit about the layout of the equipment from, describe what I&M's, to the extent you can, where their equipment kind of ends and where Valbruna's electricity supply and other equipment starts.
So we have what we refer to on our 65-acre property, what substation number 1, and that's where I&M delivers, and that's where we use our distribution throughout the facility from that point on.
And that is owned, that substation number 1 is owned by Valbruna?
That's owned by Valbruna.
And then, am I correct, Valbruna also owns transformers that take from that substation?
Yes.
And how many transformers, approximately?
You want to know just at the substations? Because at the substations, there's probably 20 different transformers.
And then you have additional transformers beyond the substation?
Yes, at the other facilities to drop the voltage down for equipment needs, specific equipment needs.
And about how many transformers are there? Approximately.
Maybe 50 more after that, smaller ones.
When these voltage fluctuations occurred in the summer of 2023, were they contemporaneous with the firing up of your mill motors and things like that?
Generally, we experienced, or once we were made aware through the faults on the motors, we would start to see that early in the morning, and then it would precipitously drop, usually throughout the day, not necessarily corresponding with our equipment operating.
Did it correspond at some points with maybe the use of air conditioning in the plant?
Air conditioning in our plant, it's possible. I mean, we would use more air conditioning as the temperatures rose throughout the day.
And did you find that these voltage fluctuations occurred basically on, hot summer days, hot summer afternoons, particularly hot ones?
Yes, when the weather was warm, that's when we would experience the largest drops.
Would you agree that voltage can change between the I&M delivery point, where they deliver at your substation number 1, and at the point where you're actually using your equipment in the plant?
Yes, it can happen.
How old is your substation number 1?
I would be speculating. I would say that originally was maybe in the 30s, 1930s.
And your company-owned transformers, can you give me an approximation of their general vintage date, how old they are?
They range, I think the oldest would be 1940 transformers all the way up to 2008.
Would you agree that as transformers age, they can, I'm not sure the right engineering phrase for this, create or result in more voltage losses?
I'm not qualified to, I don't have that answer or experience.
So you are not qualified to confirm that kind of every step of the way from the delivery point to your ultimate equipment in the plant is a resistance point which can reduce voltage?
Yes, every point's a resistance, but I thought you were talking about degradation of the transformer over time.
Oh, no, I meant the kind of change in the voltage.
Okay, yes.
So there's some discussion in some of the documents, testimony, and discovery about taps on transformers. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And can you explain to a non-engineer what a tap on a transformer is?
That's where you've got, every transformer can change the voltage from the primary to the secondary side, and you, to basically try to fine tune that voltage, you can change where the electrical connections are, and that'll change how many windings in the transformer are engaged. So the secondary side voltage can be affected by changing the locations of the taps or the electrical connections.
And by changing those taps, you can effectively boost voltage, right?
Yes. With a P.
And am I correct that I&M recommended that Valbruna, I guess the word is load taps on your transformers or change the taps on your transformers to try to help boost the voltage inside your plant?
Yes, they recommended, after the problem was discovered, that we change the tap locations on our transformers.
And am I correct that Valbruna declined to do that?
Yes, that would have not been, in my opinion, feasible to change all the different transformers.
When you say it would not be feasible, is that because it would take a lot of time, or is that because of the age of the transformers? Or
A lot of time and expertise that we don't possess. We wouldn't have any qualified people to do that in our location. We would have to sub that out, and I don't know that all the transformers would have the proper taps to allow us to adjust.
You also testified, I believe in your rebuttal testimony, that, or maybe it was in a discovery response, that Valbruna does not have protective devices on their equipment at this plant. Is that correct?
We do have protective devices. We have breakers that will trip or open up if there's a voltage, an amperage spike, but that would usually be for a ground fault situation. And on some of the drives, the newer drives, the 22 and the 24 mil motor, actually have protective control measures in there that would trigger a fault and shut down the motor and the drive due to a low incoming voltage. But not all the equipment had that level of protection.
And so, just so I understand, the first one you talked about, breakers that can trip and open if the amperage spikes, is that unrelated to these voltage fluctuations?
Yeah, the voltage we experienced was a sustained low voltage supply coming into us.
But the drives on your newer equipment, and was that on some of your mills or motors?
Yeah, the 22 and the 24 mil motors have now drives on those.
Okay. And that does react to voltage fluctuations?
It does, and it will.
Go ahead.
It will shut down the motor, but that doesn't stop the problem from occurring. So we have hot ingots on our mill, and so when a mill motor shuts down due to a fault, there's still significant problems. If it's stuck in the mill, it's a big problem to get it cut out. If the mill motor is down when the hot ingot is on the mill stands getting processed, it can cool down, and that ingot could get lost in the process because of the fault condition.
But those protective devices on the newer mill motors, they do protect the mill motors themselves from damage, is that correct?
Correct. The mill motor and the drive are protected due to those fault setups in the drive.
That's all we have, thank you.
Patterson,
Redirect?
direct.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Just 1 second before I proceed.
Sure, we'll go off the record. Going back on the record, and I apologize, Mr. Patterson, but I would like to offer the opportunity for the public to ask questions if they have any for this witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. No questions.
All right, thank you. Mr. Patterson, your redirect.
Thank you. Mr. Hilger, am I correct that Valbruna is not currently experiencing low voltage after being placed back on the McKinley feed? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Have you upgraded the transformers whatsoever since the summer of 2023?
We have not made any changes to those transformers, no.
Okay. So you had the same transformers immediately before you were placed on the spy run feed, while you were on the spy run feed, and after you were placed back on the McKinley feed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you have any reason to believe that the transformer's performance had any sort of impact on the voltage supply in the summer of 2023?
No, we actually took some readings with we had a monitor, and we saw low voltage prior to any of the transformers, prior to the voltage or the electricity coming in through any of the transformers.
And your contract with I&M provides that the point of delivery under the contract is at the substation, correct?
That's correct.
Substation number 1.
Yes.
And these low readings that you've previously testified about, those were taken at substation number 1.
We had taken some readings at substation number 1 where we saw low readings, but some of the others were inside the plant. But we did a correlation between where we took the reading in the plant and the substations, and that's how we were able to determine at the time of the fault what the voltage was at number 1 substation.
Thank you. Mr. Hilger, prior to being placed on the Spyron station, again, that was May 20th, 2023, if I&M had informed you that the Spyron station was further away from Valbruna than the McKinley station was, and that a combination of a larger distance in connection and high ambient temperatures might contribute to a larger voltage drop than Valbruna had previously experienced, would you have requested that I&M perform the repairs to the McKinley station at a different time of the year to lower the potential for high ambient temperatures?
Yes.
And Mr. Hilger, I have the same frame of question here. So prior to being placed on that Spyron station, May 20, 2023 was the date of that. If I&M had informed you that the Spyron station was further away from Valbruna than the McKinley station, and again, that a combination of larger distance in connection and high ambient temperatures might contribute to a larger voltage drop than Valbruna had previously experienced, would you have requested more information from I&M pertaining to whether there were closer alternative stations to Valbruna?
Yes.
And Mr. Hilger, prior to being placed on the Spyron station on May 2023, if I&M had informed you these same things, that the Spyron station was further away from Valbruna than the McKinley station, and that a combination of larger distance in connection and high ambient temperatures might contribute to a larger drop in voltage supply, would you have requested more information from I&M as to potential protective devices that might protect Valbruna's equipment?
Yes.
And Mr. Hilger, to very briefly summarize your direct testimony and rebuttal testimony that you have adopted for this cause today, is it your testimony today that the supply of 28,532 volts to Valbruna on 6 separate occasions in the summer of 2023, again at the contract delivery point, did not meet I&M's contractual and statutory duties to Valbruna and caused Valbruna significant financial damage?
Yes.
Is it also your request from the Commission that prospective voltage supply to Valbruna needs to meet I&M's contractual and statutory duties to Valbruna, such that the voltage supplied in the summer of 2023 shall serve as an example of a direct breach of I&M's contractual and statutory duties to Valbruna going forward?
Yes.
Mr. Hilger, could you briefly address why Valbruna requested that I&M delay switching Valbruna back to the primary source, again, that's the McKinley station, in approximately December 2023 until March 2024?
I'm going to
Yes.
object just because this is beyond the scope of my cross-examination, and I believe it's already addressed in testimony.
I have no response to that.
Sustained.
Okay. Mr. Hilger, Valbruna's financial damages that you testified about in your testimony relate to the inadequate voltage supply stem from lost profits and damages to your equipment, correct?
I'm going to object again. It's beyond the scope of my cross-examination, which did not go into quantification of any sort of damages.
In response, I'll just note that Mr. Hilger testifies to this in his testimony that's previously been submitted.
Mr. Patterson, could you repeat the question that you're asking?
My question to Mr. Hilger was, Valbruna's financial damages related to the inadequate voltage supply stem from lost profits and damages to the equipment, correct?
And the rationale for your objection, Ms. Pachos?
Right, it's beyond the scope of my cross-examination. I did not ask about any sort of quantification of damages or anything about lost profits.
Agreed. Sustained.
No other questions for the witness, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Does the commission have any questions for the witness? All right. Chair Houston.
Mr. Hilger, I think your counselor just asked basically the same question that I was going to ask, but it's a little bit different. Did Valbruna make any changes behind the meter while I&M was searching for solution?
Yes, in consultation, after we discovered the problems, we had capacitor banks that are designed to correct power factor error, or to correct the power factor, and as a side effect, they also boost the voltage. So we employed those to increase the voltage supply to our facility.
Thank you.
Mr. Hilger, can you talk about what was the age of the damaged equipment?
The lost production, just the equipment, they were fin core drives on the meat arts that were damaged, and I think those are in the 1980s, but I'm not sure. They're no longer manufactured. And then we did have some drives on the mill and some field exciters that were damaged, and I would think they're in the 1980s as well. I'm not sure about the vintage of those.
Specifically, the equipment that was damaged, were there maintenance reports or anything that showed that the equipment was in need of repair?
Both the meat arts were operating fine prior to the low voltage supply situation.
I don't think I have any other questions. Thank you.
You're excused, Mr. Hilger. Thank you for your testimony. Off the record. Back on the record, Mr. Patterson, still your case.
Nothing further from Valbruna.
All right, thank you. Ms. Pashas?
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you please state your name and business address for the record?
Yes, my name is Aaron Shaw. Yeah, I see that now. It's all right. My name is Aaron Shaw. Business address is 8400 Smiths Mill Road, New Albany, Ohio.
And by whom are you employed and in what capacity?
I'm employed by Indiana Michigan Power, and I am the operations engineering manager for our transmission operations organization.
Do you have before you what's been marked as INM's Exhibit 1?
I do.
And what is that?
That's my testimony.
And do you have any changes or corrections to INM Exhibit 1?
I do not.
If you were asked the same questions as are contained in Exhibit 1, would your answers today be the same?
Yes, they would.
Do you adopt petitioner's INM Exhibit 1 as your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
I do.
We would offer into evidence INM's Exhibit 1, the pre-filed testimony of Aaron T. Shaw.
All right, and we're just going to go around the room in order. Mr. Haas, any objections to?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and from the petitioner?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Respondent's Exhibit 1 is admitted into evidence.
Thank you. When would you like me to offer the administrative notice exhibit? Can I just do that now, or
Now sounds
so I don't forget?
Yes.
We would also offer, in connection with Mr. Shaw's testimony, the administrative notice exhibit 1.
Mr. Haas, any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Patterson, any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Respondent's administrative notice, Respondent's Exhibit Administrative Notice 1 is admitted into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Shaw is available for cross-examination.
Thank you. Mr. Haas, we'll start with you.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Patterson.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Shaw, I'm taking a look at your testimony that was submitted in this matter, which is identified as Exhibit 1 in front of you. Specifically, I'm looking at page 2 and continuing on to page 3. I'm going to summarize a little bit here. Am I correct that Valbruna receives power from the Wall Street switch station, which is connected to the McKinley station? And while upgrades were being made to the McKinley station, INM switched Valbruna temporarily to the Spy Run station?
That is correct.
Okay. And on page 3 of your testimony, you state that INM began the transfer to the Spy Run feed on May 20, 2023, completed construction to the McKinley station on December 4, 2023, and restored connection to the McKinley station on March 5, 2024, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm going to have you flip to page 5 of your testimony. In question 19, you were asked for your opinion as to the cause of the voltage issues Valbruna experienced, and testified that the high temperatures combined with the fact that the temporary configuration to the Spy Run station was farther away than the connection to the McKinley station created a larger drop in voltage than they had experienced before. Is it still your opinion today that the high temperatures and farther distance of the Spy Run station was the cause of Valbruna's low voltage?
That's correct.
Okay, and do you have an opinion as to whether one factor, meaning the high temperature or the distance, contributed greater than the other?
No, I think they're equally weighted factors in this case.
Do you have a reason for that conclusion?
Yes, because it's not a linear impact, right? So when there's higher ambient temperatures and there's greater distance, right, then there's kind of an exacerbated effect that can happen.
I'm going to have you flip back to page 3 of your testimony. You state that the McKinley station is 1 mile away from Valbruna and the Spy Run station is 3 miles away from Valbruna, correct?
That's correct. Those are approximates, but yes.
Okay. So approximately, the Spy Run station is 2 miles further away from Valbruna than the McKinley station, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And Mr. Shaw, on page 1 of your testimony, you state that you're employed by American Electric Power Service Corporation as a real-time reliability engineering manager in the Transmission Operations Engineering Department, and that your responsibilities include transmission operations planning activities in Indiana. Is that a fair summary?
Yes, that's a fair summary.
Okay. Can you briefly explain for me some information about the planning aspect of your job? What do you mean by planning?
So what we do is when there's known outages that have to take place, like in the case that we needed to for the McKinley station, we had to do upgrades to that station. What we do is we look at the system in conjunction with all the other customers that are on the system and with the available supplies that are left as a result of taking out a particular supply, and we study to see are there going to be any problems associated with that. The two main constraints that we look at are thermal constraints. Can the wires in question actually handle the amount of power that needs to flow on those wires? And then are there going to be any voltage impacts that's associated with the customers on the circuits? Those are the two factors that we typically look at on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Now, I'm going to show you some communications that were produced by I&M in response to our discovery request in this matter, specifically Exhibit 1, which is not in front of you. I'll come hand that to you.
Okay, thanks.
We'll go off the record.
Okay, yeah.
Back on the record.
Okay, and Mr. Shaw, I'm going to have you take a look at pages 5 and 6 of Exhibit 1. So there's an email there from Kevin Faust with AEP dated May 16, 2024. It starts on the very bottom of page 5 and then continues on to page 6. Do you still work with Kevin Faust?
No, I do not. He's no longer with the company.
Okay. On page 6 there, Mr. Faust says in that last paragraph of the email, unfortunately, as we saw with the planned 34.5 kV outages we had at McKinley last year, placing a 34.5 kV industrial customer that could potentially end up at the end of a 34.5 kV radial line may not have been the best planning decision. Do you agree with that conclusion by Mr. Faust?
Yeah, I would clarify that. You see that the planning is a capital P planning. That's referring to our overall system planning department, not our outage planning function, which I am typically involved with. So this is referring to an overall how the system is planned for the general community and for the region as a whole. So there are a lot of factors and things that go into play from that level. It's like planning the system at like a 10,000-foot level. And then when we get down to actually implementing those plans, my department has to get into the weeds in terms of determining how we're going to execute that overall vision and strategy, if that makes sense.
So keeping in mind that overall vision and strategy, though, the subject line of the email is Valbruna Slater Steel, correct?
That's correct.
So you were discussing Valbruna Slater Steel at some level in connection
Yes,
with
Kevin
the
was-
overall plan.
Yes, Kevin was just referring to the overall plan as far as the strategic vision.
Now, Mr. Shaw, unrelated to this exhibit, what would you classify as a residential customer of I&M?
Somebody that is on the distribution network, that's on a much lower voltage level, typically anywhere from 12 kV or below.
So you would not consider Valbruna a residential customer, correct?
I would not know.
Okay. And they would not be receiving residential service from I&M, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to have you take a look back at your testimony. Page 6. And question 23. The question there is, during the period in question, did I&M deliver electric energy to Valbruna at reasonably close maintenance to constant potential and frequency? In response, you say that, yes, the tariff requirements are to maintain voltage from 0.95 PU. Can you tell me what PU is?
Yeah, that is just a what we call per unit. So rather than specifying the exact voltage, like 34,000 volts nominal, so 34.5 volts would equal 1.0 per unit voltage, right? So this is a kind of a engineering parlance more often to distinguish how far deviated are we from the nominal voltage. So we usually do that in terms of percentages rather than having to constantly specify 34, 35,000 volts, 32,000 volts, et cetera. We can just utilize the per unit parlance.
Thank you. So to summarize briefly, so that would be the 0.95 PU, that would be reference to a 5% reduction.
Reduction, this same, yeah.
So again, looking at your answer there to 23 on page 6, the tariff requirements are to maintain voltage from 0.95 PU. So with that in mind, would a fluctuation of greater than 5% then be outside of tariff requirements?
So typically what we try to do is we try to use the tariff obligations in a way to make sure that we're maintaining that bandwidth threshold throughout the system.
So my question to you is 0.94 PU within tariff requirements?
No.
Okay, and also in this answer to question 23 there, you say that not at any time did the I&M system drop below this number. So my question to you is, where is the I&M system measuring from?
So we have measurements at the McKinley station, and we have measurements at the Spy Run station. And so historically, we were able to take differentials between McKinley and Spy Run. When the switch happened to put Valbruna on the Spy Run feed, all we had available was the readings at Spy Run.
Okay. Would the measurement come from within Valbruna's substation number 1 structure?
We don't have any information on Valbruna's substation. It's beyond the demarcation point.
I don't have any more questions for Mr. Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Ms. Pashos, do you have any redirect?
Just a couple, yes. Just following up on Mr. Patterson's questions about measurements of the voltage. You mentioned that the measurements would not have come from the Valbruna-owned Substation 1, correct?
That is correct. We don't own that station.
So when you state, as you did in the answer to question 23, that I&M's voltage did not drop below that 0.95 PU or 95%. Where is that? Where were the measurements taken that, that support that statement?
At the spy run source.
Is it at the delivery point?
It's not at the delivery point, no.
So where exactly is it?
It's at the beginning of the source going towards the customer.
And can you be more specific about exactly where that is for a non-engineer?
Yeah, so we have instrumentation that's on the circuit associated with all the for anybody that's connected to that circuit. And as power flows across those wires, we have the instrumentation that's capturing in real time information about the amount of current that's flowing on the lines, the amount of voltage that's flowing on the lines, and overall how much power is being transferred from the source location. And so we bring that information into our operations department, and we have real-time system operators who are monitoring those points and actually have alarms set up. So if we were to exceed, in this case, less than 95% voltage, we would have alarms, indicating to the dispatchers that we have a low voltage problem, and to take action.
And is that typically where I&M does measure and monitor the voltage that's being delivered to the system? and to
Yes, we're looking
customers?
at the system overall for all customers. And then if there's a deviation, customer calls and says there's a problem, then we investigate further.
Thank you, that's all.
All right. Does the commission have any questions for Mr. Shaw? Chairman Houston?
Just to understand a little bit more clearly what was just asked. So the alarms are not triggered at the meter or at the point of delivery. So any degradation of the voltage supply being generated at the station is not monitored at the point of delivery.
Not in all cases, no.
Thank you.
We'll go off record for just a moment. All right, the commission has no other questions. Oh, sorry, we are back on the record, and the commission does not have any other questions. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Off the record. Going back on the record, Ms. Pashos?
Yes, we would call Todd Bechtold to the stand. Would you please state your name and business address for the record?
Yes, my name is Todd L. Bechtold, and my work address is 110 East Wayne Street, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
By whom are you employed and in what capacity?
I am a key account manager for Indiana Michigan Power Company.
Do you have before you what has been marked as I&M Exhibit 2?
Yes, I do.
And what is that? Can you identify that Exhibit 2?
That is my pre-filed testimony.
And do you have any changes or corrections to your pre-filed testimony?
I do not.
If I asked you the same questions today as are contained in that testimony, would your answers be the same?
Yes, they would.
Do you adopt Petitioner's Exhibit 2 as your sworn testimony in this proceeding?
Yes.
Respondent.
Oh. You'll correct that in the record for me, right, Amy? Respondent. And with that, we would offer into evidence. I just need to stick with I&M. I&M is Exhibit 2.
Thank you. Mr. Haas, any objection to Respondent's Exhibit 2?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Patterson, any objections to Respondent's Exhibit 2?
No objection, Your Honor.
Respondent's Exhibit 2 is admitted into the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bechtold is available for cross-examination.
We'll start with you, Mr. Haas. Any questions for Mr. Bechtold?
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Patterson, any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. So, Mr. Bechtold, I'm taking a look at your testimony that was submitted in this matter. Again, that's I&M's Exhibit 2. Specifically, I'm looking at your answers to questions 2, 3, and 6 on pages 1 and 2. I'll give you a quick second to take a look at those answers. Is it fair to say that, given this testimony, you are a good person to ask on I&M's behalf as to the communications with Valbruna relevant to this proceeding?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay. And how long have you been employed by I&M?
38 years.
Okay. Now I'm going to get a little specific on some of your communications with Valbruna. So I&M switched Valbruna to the Spyron station on May 20th, 2023. So before I&M switched Valbruna to the Spyron station on May 2023, did I&M ever discuss with Valbruna the 2-mile increase in distance between Valbruna's connection with the McKinley station and the Spyron station?
Not that I'm aware of.
Before I&M switched Valbruna to the Spyron station on May 2023, did I&M ever discuss with Valbruna the potential that high ambient temperatures could contribute to a larger drop in voltage than Valbruna had previously experienced?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do you have an understanding as to why I&M chose to transfer Valbruna to the Spyron feed during the summer of 2023 rather than the cooler months of the year?
That was the time when we had all the material, the planning was in place to complete the work, and the necessary permits that were required were obtained.
Was there some level of coordination effort with Valbruna?
Yes, the coordination with Valbruna actually started in December of 2022. And there were frequent meetings regarding that.
But in those coordination efforts, again, there was no mention of the increase in distance between the McKinley station and the Spyron station, as well as the potential that high ambient temperatures could contribute to a larger drop in voltage?
Not that I'm aware of.
Before I&M switched Valbruna to the spy run station on May 2023, did I&M ever suggest to Valbruna to install protective devices to prevent damage to their equipment when Valbruna was going to be switched to the spy run station?
I don't believe so.
Okay, and Mr. Bechtold, looking back at your testimony submitted in this matter, which is I&M's Exhibit 2, I'm looking at your answer to question 12, which is found on pages 5 and 6. You were asked about the contract between I&M and Valbruna and whether the contract states that I&M will provide Valbruna with a constant and uninterrupted supply of electricity at 34,500 volts. In response, on page 6, lines 10 through 12, you state that contractually I&M does not and cannot deliver an uninterrupted supply of power, and I&M is to provide voltage reasonably close to 34,500 volts. My question to you is, what is considered reasonably close to 34,500 volts?
That would be referring to the 5% that was been discussed prior, and that would be up or down from.
Now, Mr. Bechtold, with that in mind, is it fair to say then that any voltage supply that is not within 5% of 34,500 volts is not reasonably close under the contract?
I would refer to the Indiana Administrative Code. I believe it's number 170 rule. And line item 1 under that refers to the 5% I think you're referencing. But line 2 under that also references that if customers receive voltage at transmission level, which Valbruna does, my understanding is the variance is higher than 5%.
Now, Mr. Bechtold, is your work email address tlbechtold@aep.com?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to show you some communications that were produced by I&M in response to our discovery requests in this matter. Can you hand him a copy of 4 through 7?
Going off the record. Going back on the record.
Now, Mr. Bechtold, do you have Valbruna's Exhibit 4 in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm going to have you take a look at pages 5 and 6 of Exhibit 4. The subject line on that email thread is Valbruna Steel 34 kV feed. And Isaac Frazier, in his email at 11:45 on June 5, 2023, mentions to you, quote, better accommodating their voltage requirements. And that's on page 6. And then in response, you mention a meeting with Valbruna to Isaac to address this. Does that sound like a fair summary?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have you take a look at Exhibit 5. And specifically page 5 of Exhibit 5. Now, the email thread shows that on June 6, 2023, you mentioned to other AEP employees that Valbruna is still experiencing low voltage faults on their equipment and is unable to operate their mill, correct?
Yes.
I'll have you take a look at Exhibit 6. And specifically page 5 of Exhibit 6. On June 29, 2023, you mentioned other AEP employees that Valbruna is still experiencing low voltage faults, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, now I'll have you take a look at Exhibit 7. Page 5 of Exhibit 7. And on page 5 there, on July 6, 2023, you discuss the ongoing low voltage issues with Valbruna and ask how to handle another half day of lost production by Valbruna. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and Mr. Bechtold, in looking at exhibits 4, 5, 6, and 7 in front of you, okay, all those emails that we just looked at, is it fair for me to say that there are documented internal communications by I&M on June 5th, June 6th, June 29th, and July 6th of 2023 discussing ongoing low voltage issues with Valbruna, faults on Valbruna's equipment, and loss of production by Valbruna?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Ms. Pashos, redirect?
Yes, just a few. Mr. Patterson asked you about, the timing and the switching to this temporary spy run. Can you explain why this temporary switch to a different feed source was needed?
We were doing system upgrades, if you will, that involved the feed from McKinley to Valbruna. Not only was it their feed from there, but there were other transmission structures, if you will, that were part of the work. Not sure if I'm answering your question there, but.
That's correct. That's correct. That answers my question. Was there anywhere else to switch Valbruna other than Spy Run, which was a couple miles further away?
No, for their load characteristics and their load capacity on the system, the closest was the Spy Run that they were transferred to.
Can you provide a little more color around the reason for the upgrade at McKinley?
I think it was for system continuity and system upgrades and improvements. A lot of the equipment was end-of-life equipment that we have decided to upgrade. Not only provides a benefit for Valbruna in this case, but all customers on our operating system.
Thank you. Mr. Patterson also asked you about some questions about what's reasonably close, the contract stating 500 volts generally and reasonably close. And you talked about the commission's rules and that sort of thing. But how does I&M know that it was delivering to Valbruna even during these hot summer days when they experience voltage fluctuations? How does I&M know that they were delivering reasonably close to 500 kilovolts?
Well, I think as Mr. Shaw explained earlier, all the monitoring equipment we had were still showing that we were in acceptable operational levels, meaning we were within that 5%.
No further questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Does the commission have any questions for Mr. Bechtold? Sorry, Commissioner Valletta.
Mr. Bechtold, can you explain a little bit about what does a site visit consist of?
Specifically, in today's age, a lot of times you have meetings with customers through computers and not on site. So when I refer to on-site meeting, it was physically on site. If you're referring to the December and January meetings, the customer rep would have been there. We would have had representation from our transmission group as well. Pat was there. Sorry. But yes, it was just specifically, it was an on-site meeting to discuss the plans, to bring to light what we were planning on doing, how we were going to go about accomplishing this. Along with that, there was a lot of work we were doing on their site as well for this transfer and to improve some of the facilities on site.
And when you have the site visits, do you talk about like potential problems? Like,
Not necessarily, no.
We'll go off the record for just a moment. Back on the record.
thank you, Mr. Bechtold. I don't have any further questions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bechtold.
Thank you.
Ms. Pashas?
We rest.
All right, thank you. Mr. Haas?
Nothing from the OUCC.
All right. Well, it's my understanding, based on conversation prior to this hearing, that the commission can expect a proposed order in this case on or before January 16th. Is that correct, Mr. Patterson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And my understanding is that respondent OUCC will provide any exceptions or alternative proposed orders on or before January 30th, 2026. Is that correct?
Yes, Your
Ms.
Honor.
Pashas? Mr. Haas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Patterson, last for you, any responses to those exceptions would be presented to the commission on or before February 13th.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That's everything. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's always that fun.